Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over part 3 of the trilogy of the story that started on Friday about the guy who discovered his wife's sex tape when she was in college and completely lost his mind over it. And quick recap, basically this guy had been married to her for 7 years, and during that time period they had the most absolute boring sex life as you can imagine. He described her as being picky and prudish. She didn't want to do anything adventurous whatsoever. However, in the videotape that he found of her in college, she had actions going on with 5 different guys and another girl doing pretty much everything you can imagine, right? And he totally loses his mind and confronts her about this, and he can't understand why, he'd been married to her for 7 years and been a great husband to her and provided and all that, and she was as boring as can be, wouldn't do anything for him. Meanwhile, back in college, all these guys obviously didn't care about her. She was willing to do anything, right? And so he completely loses it. And this continues to the second video where he had moved out for a while, and she's losing her mind, crying and saying she would do any of these things for him and wants him and wants the marriage to work and blah, 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 blah. And it ends with him consulting his brother, who's a lawyer, about his options in terms of divorce, and also him considering maybe staying in the marriage to make it work, and basically have an open marriage, which the guy had to be absolutely out of his mind to think is going to work because, number one, this is not the type of guy that's going to have women throwing themselves at, okay? It's not going to happen, okay? He's not going to have pussy falling down from the sky, even though he thinks that's going to happen. What's going to happen is, if we do an open marriage, all the guys will be after his wife because she doesn't have to be that good looking to attract guys and get plenty of dick. So this guy is going to be in for a world of hurt, and he's not going to be able to handle it. So it ends with him pretty much figuring out, am I going to get divorced, end it with her, or try for an open marriage, and go from there. So, continues on. First of all, thank you for all of your support. I understand a lot of people are here to hate me too. But for those that did give me legitimate advice, instead of telling me my feelings were wrong. I told my older brother everything. This is the brother that's the lawyer. We have always been discreet, discussing relationships, so this was new to me. He comforted me and advised me. First of all, he told me it would be my best interest to stop having sex with my wife until I decide I know what I want to do. I told him I was unsure because I want to have the stability of my family, but I resent my wife. I told him how the last time I tried to talk to her, I said really mean things to her, so he offered to join me so I don't ruin what's left of my wife and my relationship. Have the brother come and join him about discussing intimate things about their marriage. Are you kidding me, dude? I get it, having the brother involved for legal matters because he's a lawyer, but to actually have that conversation with his wife about the goings-on and the videotape and things like that, come on. Guys, I got to say this. I got to quick stop and say this. There are lots of times where I go over stories like this, or some guys will email me situations asking my advice, and they're obviously in trouble and they're clueless guys. And there's a part of me that definitely has empathy and feels bad for them. I really do sometimes. What they're going through and the kind of crap that they put up with women or what women do to them. On the other hand, there's a side of me that wants to just slap them upside the head for being so clueless and being so weak and being like this guy. I mean, it's not a wonder that things turned out for him the way they did by the way he's acting, and we all know it here. I mean, literally, it kind of reminds me of the movie Return of the Jedi, where at the end of the movie, when Luke Skywalker refuses to turn to the dark side, throws his lightsaber away, and then the Emperor proceeds to fry his ass with lightning. And during the Emperor taking his time frying Luke, he at one point says, "You will pay the price for your lack of vision," and then continues to fry his ass some more. That's how I feel sometimes. Sometimes I literally want to have some force lightning and fry some of these guys for being so clueless. I mean, God's sakes here. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest, get my little rant here. It continues. I asked my wife if she would be up for meeting with us. I don't remember the exact details, but here they are. So he goes into this whole dialogue between him and his wife and his brother chiming in. He says, before we go any further, understand that I want the truth. Not what you think I want to hear. I don't think staying with you would be doing me a favor or you, if our foundation is bad. I don't want you or I to grow up to become bitter over this, so please be honest. The wife says, I swear I won't lie to you. I know we can work together. He says, look, I'll tell you my honest feeling. I don't care if you had a promiscuous past. Seriously, that's the least I could care about, and you know that. Bullshit, dude. There is no way that he doesn't care about that. Come on here. If he would stay with her, he's going to remember that for the rest of his life. That will be in his head every time he closes his eyes and he's next to her, or every time maybe she picks up the phone and gets a text and he doesn't know who it is. He's not going to, no guys, after what he saw in that video, the way he described it in the first video that I did, there's no way he's going to forget that. Bullshit. Look, to me, this is how I feel. When I married you, I went on the premise I would give up everything for you. And you know that what I mean, I'd take a bullet for you or our daughter. Of the money I make, I barely spent any of it on myself. It's always been for you and her. Now, when I married you, I thought over time you opened up to me sexually. But the reason why the video crushed me were those random guys that didn't commit their life to you. Got more out of you sexually than me, who lived his life for you. It was the biggest insult to me. It has crushed my confidence. Well, you can certainly understand the guy being crushed by this. I get that. But unfortunately, what he just went through about the whole thing, like, you know, they didn't commit to you and I committed to you and I did all these things for you and I didn't want it, pretty much all the money went to you and the daughter and all that type of stuff. That's the crap you always have being sold in movies and TV. The guy gives up everything, sacrifices everything, does it for her, you know what I mean, and expects to be treated like the king. And then a lot of times you'll see that in movies, that oftentimes they are. But in real life, unfortunately, you could treat someone you deeply care about like that, and you get the shaft. You get treated like crap, no respect. It's unfortunate, but that is reality. That's what happens when you freaking lie down and become a doormat, okay? This guy should not have been doing all these things. He should have been doing some things for himself and so forth. But you can tell the reason really that this guy hasn't gotten any the way he wanted to all these years is because she settled for him. She saw he was easy. He'd marry her in a heartbeat, probably. You know, in his eyes, she knew she was a prize in his eyes, and she didn't have to do shit, you know? And this guy would give her everything to make her happy. See? If they don't respect you, they sure as hell are never going to love you. And when I say love, I mean a woman's version of love. A man's version of love and a woman's version of love are completely different. The wife says, "I'm sorry I hurt you so much. I knew you dated slutty girls before, but I didn't want to be another one of your girlfriends. I really liked you and wanted more than that." Bullshit. "You're the most attractive guy I've ever been with, and I promise you that. Even before we dated, you have been with girls hotter than me, and you know that you are good looking. I've always been insanely attracted to you. I know we weren't really adventurous in the bedroom, but even after years of marriage, we still had a lot of sex." So in other words, she's really buttering him up at this point, that you're so good looking and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Maybe she did find him very attractive physically, but at the end of the day, she didn't find his personality, who he was, attractive, in the sense that the guys in the video, they may not have been that attractive, but they at least were probably alpha males that took charge and didn't give a crap and things like that. But this guy probably treated her like the queen from day one, probably put her on a pedestal, and she couldn't respect that. Even if she thought he was good looking, she probably didn't respect that. And that's why he didn't get all what he wanted with her. But also basically saying, you had girlfriends before me and all these other things. He says, "Be completely honest with me. If I didn't find the video, were you ever planning on opening up to me sexually? Or would you be doing missionary to your grave?" The wife says, "I always wanted to do more with you. I really did. It was hard holding myself back." For 7 years? Come on here, lady. "I didn't want to come off as doing them too quickly, but you stopped asking and I was scared to initiate it all myself. I read that if you try to spice it up in the bedroom randomly, then your spouse will think you are cheating." What a load of crap. "I know I don't have any excuse, but it was really I was just waiting for something." It's unbelievable. Now, true, guys should need to take the lead, okay? Women want guys to take the lead in all aspects of life, also in the bedroom. And the guy, I'm trying to imagine the scenario of him asking, because she described him asking. I mean, him getting on his knees and begging for her to give him a BJ, it's not exactly going to turn out very well. It's not going to be very attractive. But I just can't imagine this guy escalating things and leading things in the bedroom here. Anyhow, he says, "As much as I want to believe that, I have a really hard time believing it." Trust your gut, dude. The wife says, "Can you try it? And if you don't think I'm being genuine, you can leave. I love you, please." This is when the brother jumps in. The brother says, "Give it a shot, OP." I don't know what OP means. The brother's also probably sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, why did I ever agree to this?" The wife says, "We can do whatever you like. I promise, and if you want, we can also bring other girls into our relationship. I will be yours completely. No way. This is the same woman in the other video that refused to do open relationships or anything like that. There is no way she's going to bring other women in, let alone this guy could not handle other women. I mean, let's be honest here. He says, be honest with me. Do you actually like doing these things? Doing those things? I love you, and you are the mother of my daughter. The last thing I want to do is anything that hurts you. So, you can see on one hand, he doesn't, you can see where he's coming from on one hand, but on the other hand, you know, he's being the classic nice guy right here. You know, obviously, he can have a lot of fun with her if he wants, but he's always, oh, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to do this. He sounds like the classic nice guy. That's why he's in the situation he is today. The wife says, I promise, I do. I've always wanted to be yours. He now continues on. We've been living together for 5 days now, and things have gotten better. My anger definitely has died down. We have been intimate together. The first couple of times afterwards, she would hold on to me and start crying. So he's moved back home, and he's trying to make it work. And he says they've been intimate, but in nowhere does he mention anything that he wanted to get out of it that she was denying him all these years. I'm really hoping my wife is being sincere. From her expressions when we have been having sex and just being together, I think she is being sincere. However, I am the same idiot that was fooled for 7 years, so I don't know if I ever will know. See, right now, again, I feel like the emperor who wants to fry this guy for his, pay the price for his lack of vision here. Come on here, man. Regarding her offers about bringing other women into our marriage, I told her that right now, I have no desire. Nice guy. I think we have enough things to deal with before the whole ordeal we were planning to have 3 kids. I'm finally starting to come to some peace. I think we'll be staying together. Big mistake. Look, here's the deal. I mean, there are going to be people watching this video right now. They're saying, why can't they stay together? Why can't they work it out? Here's why. This guy, he's never going to get over this, okay? He obviously mentioned that he wants the marriage to work out, okay? Maybe for the daughter or who the hell knows what it is. But this guy is a classic nice guy. And here's the thing. It's great to have nice guys in the world. But there's nice guys and there's nice guys that are just weak and completely foolish and blue-pilled and clueless. That's what this guy is, okay? And if he thinks that from this moment forward, going forward after all this, that she's going to then be what he wants, that she's going to be the freaky little thing in the bedroom like she was in the video, not a chance. Not a chance. And she's going to, on some level, lose respect for him for just easily going back along with this plan. He's never going to see her the same. He's always going to be wondering. He's always going to be thinking about this. Come on here. And that's not going to be a good situation to live in. He goes on, I'm still struggling to understand a couple things. My wife said she wasn't attracted to the guys in her past as much as me. Now, I know I'm an attractive guy myself, and I've always gotten a decent amount of attention from women. And, well, at least the guys that were in the video, they weren't good looking and were awkward on the film. So I kind of believe my wife about the attraction part. She was saying that to make him feel better. She was saying that to butter him up. And on some level, there probably was truth to that. She found him attractive. But here's the thing. She didn't find him attractive in the way that made her want to tear his clothes off and do everything known to man in the bedroom with him. Okay? She wasn't attracted to him that way. Okay? These other guys, they may not have been physically attractive, but they had personality traits and things about them that did make her want to do all those things. This guy doesn't have it. And like I said before, she settled for this guy, but he doesn't understand this. Okay? He needs somebody to point this shit out to him, but most guys out there are fucking clueless. Goes on, first of all, I know girls lie about their past. This is nothing new. You think? I had a girlfriend in the past that told me all her deepest, darkest secrets, but lied to me on how many guys she'd been with. So for those of the commentators that are saying, leave her, your wife's a slut, not many people said this, but some red pillars did make a thread about my post. Only difference between my girl and yours is I actually know about her past. Dude, you only think you know about her past. You got a glimpse of her past. There's far more to her past than that video, so don't kid yourself here. So I get that much. But what I don't understand really, what I really don't get is, why would she think that not opening up to me sexually early on would be a good idea? You see, guys, he doesn't get it. This is the 3rd video in this long-ass story, and he doesn't get it. Still, after all this, he doesn't get it. She settled, dude. She settled, she settled, she settled. Wake the fuck up. She doesn't see it that way. I have read relationship posts before, and it's always the woman does the bait and switch. Super sexual when they were dating to get the ring on, and then changes when they get married. I don't understand my wife's reasoning with that if it makes zero sense. Well, women aren't about logic and reason, they're about emotion. Sure, she said sure she can say she never gave a BJ before, but then try it for her first time with me. This is the part which really makes me doubt my wife's whole story. If you are a woman, please help me understand this. Dude, don't ask advice about women about things like this. Don't ask relationship advice, pickup advice, attraction advice, all that type of stuff advice. That is the worst thing you can do. I've made it clear more times than I can count that you don't ask women for that type of advice about other women. You know, I know this because of the plenty of other stories I know of guys that have done this. And guess what? When I was younger, teenager, high school, college, I used to do the same thing. I was that guy. I used to consult girls I was friends with about advice about women and dating and all that shit. And guess where that got me? Nowhere. Nowhere. It never worked out in my favor. I learned the hard way. And until you really learn that and wake up. But again, it goes to show you what type of guy this is if he's looking for female advice in this subject. You ask guys. You ask men with experience. They'll give it to you direct and straight whether you like it or not. But asking a woman is only going to make it worse. Finally, he says, wife and I had a talk with my brother. We've been together for 5 days now. Things are looking good, but there are some still unanswered questions that haunt me. So, that's how it ends, guys. After all this, and what went on, him moving out, and then saying I'm done, or wanting to have the open marriage, and thinking about divorce, at the end, after all this shit, he goes back to her. And to be honest with you, as I read this story, I'm not at all surprised, given his personality, you know? And again, like I said, there's the part of me that felt bad for him, hearing his story, and the other part of me just wants to smack the shit out of him. And what's probably going to happen is this, guys. Maybe, just maybe, she'll open up and have a little extra freaky fun in the bedroom with him, but I guarantee within a month, maybe 2 max, all of a sudden, that's going to stop. All of a sudden, she's not going to feel good. All of a sudden, no more doggy style because she thinks her ass is too big. Another month later, no more riding on top because she feels like she's overweight. And at some point, no more BJs because she has a toothache. Okay? And it's going to go back exactly the same way it was. And meanwhile, this guy's going to be stuck with her. But meanwhile, she may be thinking of a backup plan to have her exit strategy. So, anyhow, guys, again, back to Return of the Jedi. I want to zap his ass for being so clueless and his lack of vision. Alright, guys, that's the end of the story. Hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.